First of all, I want to thank you for being here. Today, let's talk about the musical career of the band and obviously the new album, Spirit of Ecstasy. So I want to start with the next question. What was the main motivation to merge jazz with black metal? How was that creative process born?
It just slowly happened, over time. My rhythm section has played in the jazz scene in New York for about 20 years, so they naturally kind of bring that energy to even metal music. So you can hear it in our discography just slowly creeping in, and it felt natural, it felt organic, it didn't feel forced, so we kind of just leaned into it, kept pushing, and to this day we're still exploring, so it feels nice.
Hmm. And it's difficult at some point for you to mix these two genres in the same song, or is it something already organic for the band?
I mean, the whole way the band plays is already very jazzy in a sense, where there's no click tracks, there's no scratch tracks, and none of that stuff. We just play together, communicating as a band the same way a jazz trio would.
Hmm.
And there's that sort of communication between the three of us has, been developed over many years of playing together, and it's definitely to our benefit.
Perfect, perfect. And I want to ask you about the members' masks. How was born the idea of the masks? Do they have any specific meaning or message that they want to convey?
Yeah, I think it started once we have the trio that we have now. We started thinking about how does the band want to look on stage? How does this music present itself visually? That's the real question, is what does this music look like? And this is the idea that came to us. And it's been a process where we're slowly building on it. And it's been a fun creative process to explore. But it's definitely something that I think, no matter what you're wearing on stage, it is representing your music.
Mm.
People will see you, and they'll look at you. They're not just closing their eyes and listening. So it's important that whatever you wear on stage, it should have some thought behind it. It doesn't need to be golden costume. It can be something simple, but whatever it is, it should be true to who you are and what your music stands for. So as far as what the masks represent, that I like to leave that open to the fans and the listener, because I like to hear what they think.
Perfect, perfect. And for people who don't know, Alex Skolnick from Testament, Kenny G on sax, and Yoshihiro Ohara on vocals, and many more artists participate in this new album. My question is, what is it like to work with Alex Skolnick and all these artists? Organization must be complicated to have so many people participating in the album, right?
Not really. They're all so talented and so professional that it's always a pleasure, and it always works out very easily for us. I think we're very particular about who we select to work with, and they're usually either friends or there's one degree of separation, and so it's always people that understand what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve. So the communication is very minimal. In fact, we just send them the music and they play what they think is the right notes, and it almost always is perfect.
Perfect. Now speaking in more general terms, how was the writing and recording process for this album? And how long did it take?
It was a really easy and organic process. Most of it was writing together in the rehearsal studio. Pretty much as soon as Alphaville came out, we just started writing. Some of the songs people came in with like a whole piece or parts of a piece, and we add to it or work on it, tinker with it. I like to imagine that this music, it takes form rather quickly, and then we spend months adjusting it and changing parts and fiddling with little ideas here and there to make sure that everything is perfect the way it should be, whether it's, or conceptually at least.
Mm. And the creative process from one album to another is changed or is in the same way?
I guess you could say it always is changing.
Mm.
We never stick to one style of writing or composing. We're always open to new ideas or new methods of composition and creation. So it's always changing. We're always pushing ourselves to uncomfortable territories.
Mm. How do you get inspiration to start writing a song or an album? Do you sometimes find it difficult to get inspiration?
It's a tough question to answer. I don't think a lot of artists really know where they get. For me, maybe the most common places that I find inspiration is when I'm learning. I'm reading about skyscrapers in New York City, or if I'm watching a film, or I'm listening to music that's not metal, like, something completely different. I hear something, I go, ooh, that's kind of interesting. What would that be like in a heavy metal context? Like, and then maybe that from that small idea will blossom a song or a riff or whatever. But I guess, yeah, learning new things, I think, is probably the best place for me to get inspiration.
Good, good. And what is it like to work with Century Media Records?
It's great. They're really, really supportive of what we're doing. And I think a lot of people might not expect that from such a big label, but they really understand that what we do is sacred, and they don't try to change us. They just help us make the art that we want to make. And our relationship is really, really strong.
Perfect, perfect. What are the albums that most inspire you regarding black metal?
Black metal?
Yes.
My favorite black metal record is Battles in the North by Immortal.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, that's just growing up, I listened to it all the time, and it's probably my favorite. And I don't know, I like that. And then I really like this band, Odraza from Poland.
Mm.
I don't really know much about them, but they have a couple albums out that I really think are really creative and pushing into that sort of metropolitan city sounds of black metal that I think are really cool. I mean, I grew up just listening to all that Bathory and all that sort of old school black metal shit. That's just like, I think the main inspiration or because we're not so much a black metal band anymore, I would say. But I would say the main connection that we still have with that genre of music is that it's more about the atmosphere than the notes or the playing technicality or any of that stuff. Like, it is technical music and it's complicated, but we don't focus on that. It's just about the atmosphere, and it has to have a dark atmosphere, and it doesn't matter what we're playing so much.
Perfect. Perfect. Now about the video of the band. How, where, and how long was the video for the song Mercurius Girl made?
That was 2 days. We shot that in Los Angeles in the desert, and that was a crazy production. We really had I was producing it, and it was just so much work. It was crazy, but I had a really, really fun time, and we got to, drive a Rolls Royce around Los Angeles and work with, all this different talent and stuff. It was really, really a great experience, and I think the video came out spectacular.
Yeah, yeah. Really is a very good video.
Thank you
Congratulations.
very much.
Did you have any bad experience in a concert or tour?
Any bad experience?
Yes.
Of course.
Something crazy that happens?
Yeah, I mean, the last tour I just did, I woke up in my hotel room bleeding out of my head mysteriously and didn't know why. I mean, I assume I fell down and had a concussion, but
Oh.
yeah, it was just blood all over the hotel room and all over my face, and I had to go to the hospital that night at like 3 a.m. and get stitches and a CT scan. And, the doctor was like, I was like, am I good to play tomorrow? And he's like, I don't think so. And I was like, we'll see about that. And of course, yeah, the next day we were in Croatia and we
Mm.
rocked it. Finished the tour strong.
Okay, okay. This is my last question. Is what advice will you give to a band that is just starting out in the industry?
Persistence is what wins in the end. You know, a band that doesn't give up and keeps creating and pushing artistically is the one that makes it at the end. So, you know, if you release your record and nobody listens to it or nobody writes a review about it or you don't get signed from it, like just don't give up, because at the end of the day, you know, even the bands that do get a lot of attention, if they don't stay strong and persistent, then they just fizzle out. So it's all about staying hungry.
Perfect. I remember that I have another question before.
Sure.
What does the cover and title of this album represent? Is there a common thread between these two things and the lyrics of the album?
Not so much connected, but I think you know, the album title comes from the name of the hood ornament on the Rolls Royce, The Spirit of Ecstasy. And then the album cover is basically we were getting really into Gustav Klimt, the painter from the Vienna Secession, like 1920s, 30s. And so we wanted to combine that with sort of a like Josephine Baker vibe, who's like this dancer, like flapper girl from the 20s. So I kind of like it because it's a very serene kind of and peaceful album cover,
Mm.
which I think is very fun for what many are describing as our most intense, most chaotic record. So it's almost it's like a little image you get right before you never see peace again.
Mm. Okay, okay. It's a very nice picture, man.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy it, man. Where are you guys based?
In Argentina. I'm from Argentina.
Oh man, we got to get to Argentina.
Yes, do you don't have any tour over here yet?
We don't have any tour yet,
Oh,
but I think we need to, man.
yeah. Do you cannot have a booking manager from this part of the world?
No.
Not yet. We a part of have a YouTube channel and all stuff. We are a booking manager, so if you need in some
Email
day,
us, man. Email me. I'd love to set something up. We'll come down to Argentina and rock out.
perfect, perfect, man. Okay, that was all for today.
Thank you
Uh,
very much.
I hope you had a good time with us, and I wish you a lot of success. Really.
You too, man.
See you soon.
Ciao.